If you have ever wanted to be a fly on the wall of a group coaching call, whether that be one of mine or you've just never experienced a group coaching call, today is that opportunity for you. We had a bonus call inside my group coaching program, Elevate, this week. And I kind of last minute decided that I would record the episode for the podcast, not only for like a sneak peek into what group coaching looks like, but I wanted the opportunity to showcase how incredible my members are and just how open and vulnerable and willing to share their biggest dreams in a safe place, and that they're also trusting you with their dreams and their opportunities and their growth. So I really did this as an opportunity to share them with the world more so than, just to show you what a coaching call is like, even though that's awesome too. Both are awesome. You guys know that I'm definitely working on doing more live coaching and opportunities to coach people on stages and on the podcast and wherever. TikTok Live, we've been doing that, but this wasn't really just that. I really wanted to give them the opportunity to shine a little bit and also give you guys, my listeners, a little sneak peek into like, what does my world look like when I'm not podcasting, when I'm actually, in the trenches of helping people and facilitating connection and amazing conversation. And today, this is a really simple one, but it's really beautiful too. And some really great stuff came up. And I would argue that this is very similar to how our normal coaching calls go. I just got their permission for it to be on the podcast. And I wanted to give you guys just that tiny bit of context because where the episode starts, I'm kind of framing the vision for them, letting them know that it will be recorded, getting all of their permission and so forth. So they all have my permission to share this. We will be linking their Instagram accounts in the show notes so that you guys can find them if you're inspired by any of the wisdom or opportunities or dreams that they share. And keep in mind as you're listening, a lot of stuff was also happening in the chat box of the coaching call. So there's going to be some parts of the call that it might feel like it skips around or doesn't make sense. I am going to have, Amanda, my editor, is going to edit out some of the pauses. So if you want to follow along and participate in the journal prompts, I just encourage you to hit the pause button so that you have time to answer those journal prompts. And you can feel free to do the exercise with us. Like these are some really great journal prompts that can very quickly and simply bring up a golden nugget for you or a download or an idea. And that's exactly what happens on this call, which is really cool. I found it very inspiring how quickly they were able to grab a piece of wisdom from these very simple journal prompts and then share, vulnerably with the group. And we do get into a little bit of coaching, especially towards the end of the call. I go into some of my my Liz Henson tangents, but just keep in mind as you're listening, if there's some parts that sound clunky or sound like they don't fit together, there's probably a lot of activity and context happening in the chat that I was kind of course correcting or responding to with my voice, even though they were putting stuff in the chat. So I know Amanda will do a great job putting it together, but I wanted you guys to have that context. And as you're listening, just take what you need, right? Like this isn't going to be the normal, let's tell a story from start to finish. It's going to jump around a little bit. We do, I'm sure there's going to be some moments where we talk over each other, where there's weird spacing as a natural Zoom call would be. But I'm encouraging you as you're listening to just take what you need. Come to this with an open mind and know that there will be something that is shared that you needed today, and grab whatever that is and run with it. And then go say hi to everyone on Instagram. Please let me know if you listen to this episode, if you like it. I'm sure that they would be willing to do it more because this was a bonus call. So this did not disrupt any of our regular scheduled programming or coaching. It was literally an and, which is really great. And I always enjoy these calls. I enjoy everything that I do and want to share everything that I do with the world. So I'm so happy you're here. Thank you, for being here and listening. And let's go ahead and dive in and see how this goes. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast, where your growth is our favorite topic. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson, and here on the podcast, we share behind the scenes of building a business using our community-based marketing and real-life lessons that make your business easy and profitable. We help you combine your dharma, your unique skills, and your offers to build the business of your dreams on your terms. I don't give average business advice. I'm here to help you unlock the superpowers that are already within you. So make sure to follow along, and I promise you will start becoming even more magnetic, and you will see your own community grow around your brand. So we're just going to do a few prompts and then we'll have an opportunity to share. And that's really going to be the context of the call. Okay. Opportunity to reflect and share. All right. Ready? The first question is, if your business had one obvious next chapter, what would it be? What's trying to emerge that you may have been putting off? If your business had one obvious next chapter, what would it be? Just super quick, whatever comes to mind first. I'm already having fun. Okay, next question. We're answering these quickly. I don't love the wording of this one, but this is my typical question. Where can people get more of an experience of you? So, asked another way, what is an experience that people already love having with you, but only a small percentage of people are having it? How could more people experience that? And I'm going to call Caitlin out because I love her meditations. And I know probably a very small percentage of humans are experiencing that. So, how, where, when can more people experience your magic? Something that you've already gotten the proof of concept. How can more people experience your magic? Awesome, Helen. Helen just got an idea for a new offer. The magic is happening. All right, next one, we're going to fill in the blank. I have a feeling I should be blank. Not to have a shoulding party, but just answer the question quickly. I have a feeling I should be blank. No overthinking, just the first answer. Okay, next one. If you stopped trying to get more followers, what would you do for the people you already have? If you stopped trying to get more followers, what would you do for the people you already have? Ooh, this is a good one. Just quick answers. I'm not even giving you too much time to overthink. I love this next one. What opportunity would make you text your best friend today? What opportunity would make you text your best friend today? And if we were celebrating 6 months from now, what would have happened? Put a Y in the comments if you feel like you've just had at least one little nugget. One little nugget came through with those questions. Doesn't have to be profound, but something came through. Great. You guys are so awesome. All right. So, for our listeners, a little context. For today's call, it's a little bit different. Instead of me teaching something, we're going to be doing some thinking together. So you're going to hear some incredible business owners dreaming out loud, noticing opportunities, and sharing what's next. My hope is that as you're listening, you won't just hear ideas, but you'll recognize your own. Anyone else get a little goosebumps with that? Okay. So who wants to share first their golden nugget or just whatever came up? This is an anything goes kind of opportunity.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. So I have it on my vision board, and I wasn't sure if it was like a new space or like changing and shifting my space, and that's kind of where I was like thinking. But it came up on multiple questions that it's like a bigger space, like a more like even more of a community space, like where there's other practitioners, there's more people can gather together, like just to create just like some crazy killer magical energy and stuff like that. And even when you said, in 6 months, what will we celebrate? And I just wrote opening a new space. Like it was just like so matter of fact. And I was like, oh shit.
That's
So
big.
yeah, yeah. Like I put it on my board this year, like not actually like thinking like it was something that was going to happen. And it still might not happen like this fiscal year, I guess, but like or calendar year or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a very lofty goal of mine. And yeah, so it was just kind of fun to write that out, I guess.
Yeah, and well, I just feel like it's profound that that came up with the what's going to happen in the next 6 months.
Right. That was probably the like the part where I was just like, oh shit, girl, what's
Yeah.
happening here?
This is so
So,
good. So, if you could literally like we're just manifesting and calling it in,
mhm,
like let's just pretend that the right
okay,
person is out there listening to this. What would you want
okay.
them to know about what you're looking for or what you're dreaming up? It doesn't have to be super specific, but like what do you feel like the universe needs to know about the space that you're calling in?
It's interesting. So, a girl that I connected to probably just over a year ago, she is out in Roanoke, and she got this space, and it was an old church. And it's
Mm,
got cool ass like stained glass windows. And it was just like she took all these pews out and just has this big, massive space. And so now I'm like, I've been sitting here like looking for old churches. Like I am looking at these like little cute churches. And like, how cool would that be just to like of something that already has like beautiful like details and everything like that. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here, Casey, I'm looking at you and like I love your big windows like in your space. Like I think it is so fucking gorgeous. And Kaylin, you're gonna be coming, you're coming to Virginia Beach. Like, how cool would that be to have you like doing meditations there? Like, and I've already talked to Shannon, like I want her like in my space, and all of you guys else that are doing all these really cool things that are living in your purpose. Like it could just be this like big purpose, like gathering space. Like I just got goosebumps saying that. So it's like how fun, right?
yeah, yeah. I went to yoga with my aunt outside of Charlottesville in a refurbished church. It was tiny and so adorable and so perfect for yoga. I mean, it's a huge space for yoga, but it was a small church.
Right. Right, yeah, like, that's like, how cute would that be? Like,
It was
I
so
don't so, anyway, she put that, like, idea in my head, and I am just, like I keep watching as she has, like, opened this space up, and, like, I'm like, "This is so cool." Like, I didn't know I had, like, this dream of something cool like that, but now I fucking do, so I am here for it, like and then just writing this all out, I was like, "Well, I'm open to this, I'm here for it."
yeah, beautiful, awesome. Thanks, Rocky.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
Casey, I know you said you have to leave the call early, so do you feel like you're ready?
I mean, well, that just changes everything, Rocky.
Whoops.
No, I feel like I love my space and I don't want to ever leave. However, there are some building issues that I think are going to rear their beautiful providential heads eventually. So the word, when you asked about the word we were I gotta find the prompt. If there was one word of what you should be doing, I have a feeling I should be. All I could come up with was outside.
Mm.
Like I feel like maybe that means I'm supposed to be out of the four walls because the next obvious chapter that's emerging for me is immersions. It's immersions, it's retreats, it's special moments and experiences, it's cohorts and through lines of transformation for people. And there's a container for that that looks a little bit different than the four walls of a building. And I've gotten so many wonderful things about that building that, it's a portal for good things and it's such a peaceful place. And it is. But I feel like my days are numbered there and I'm sort of leaving that up to the fates at this point because I don't really want to leave. But I think, it's like that thing, when you're ready, they'll kick you right out of the nest.
The fill in the blank of what I should be doing is going more outside could also mean outside your comfort zone.
Oh, sheesh. Yeah. Well, I'm there.
Yeah.
So that's 100% true. So yeah, I feel very much of like people getting the experience of me is probably more things like getting online and being virtual. I'm a teacher on Inside Timers, so I need to put more of my content there, which is a great resource I don't use enough.
Well, and I
Um,
like that you bring that up because it feels like that's a place where people can find you that are not kind of currently in your orbit. Like,
right.
that's the thing I've really enjoyed about TikTok is like I feel like people that have never seen me before are finding me. And I know that's possible on Instagram, but I don't know about you guys, but like I don't feel it.
No, I don't feel that either.
Instagram kind of feels like my normal peeps, which is great. But, it's like I like that thought process of like where can I physically put myself even if it's remotely, virtually, physically where people can see me that can't normally see me.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I feel like my people actually see me on social media. So
Yeah.
I don't lean on that quite as much, but to hear Rocky say she's got expansions coming and a church sounds amazing. I'm keeping my eyes open for a new space myself. So, what a beautiful collaboration it would be with Caitlin coming to town and Rocky. We'll get Kelsey back here. And I mean, there's a lot of beautiful people who would love to share space, I know. So, always open.
Love it. Awesome, Casey.
Every
Um,
time I leave this call, I'm like, I wish I lived where you guys lived. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I am so alone in what I'm doing here. And I'm so proud of you guys.
You're a
oh,
big part of it, though, Sarah. You're a huge inspiration.
she's literally the founding member, the very
That's
first
right.
member of this community. So I know she's all the way in Kansas. And now we've got all of our locals on the call today. But you're not alone, Sarah. You're not alone. Caitlin's not local. She's going to be local for a little while, but she's not like right here on top of us normally. Okay, Megan, do you feel ready to share? Because I wanted to like even prompt you just a tiny bit and see if anyone else has felt this energy shift in the last like 'cause, I never know what it is. I like to ask my astrological universe people, like, what's happening? Why am I feeling this?" But has anyone felt in the last, like, 24 or 48 hours? I felt, like, very stagnant this summer as far as, like, "Oh, I'm just kind of operating my business and I'm doing the things and things are really good," but there didn't feel like a surge of creativity, and then all of a sudden in the last, like, 2 days, it's like I feel this huge surge. So, tell us what's happening, Megan, and then I want your share.
Yeah, so we are at a huge turning point for humanity in general. Like things that are happening astrologically have never happened before. Like they can look back as far as they can, even before we knew about astrology or using the stars, but it's never happened before. And I mean, like the human design, like for those that are into that, they're kind of predicting that this is an evolution of consciousness right now. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been feeling what you're talking about. The void is what I've been kind of feeling it as.
Yeah.
It's like just not a lot going on, not new inspiration coming in. It was just like sticking with what I had. And then, yeah, today, it's really interesting that you picked today to do something so big vision like this because today we have a Jupiter Cazimi, which is when the sun and Jupiter come together. And also, we have a full moon in Aquarius, which Aquarius is like the sign that's kind of like ruling AI and this innovation for technology in the future. And since it's opposing, it's like I don't know, like there's big expansion today for sure. So this is definitely aligned to be doing a process like this.
I feel it. I even just told my business bestie right before this call. I said, "I don't know what's happening, but, like, I feel big expansion today." And imposter syndrome is not something that I normally experience, but I do feel like when I'm butting up against a big expansion, it will show up. And, like, I posted my Instagram post today, and, like, for some reason, it was like, "Oh my god, people are gonna watch that." I'm, like, cringing at myself as usual, you guys know that, but I'm like, people are gonna watch that and be like, "Who is she?" And I'm like, "I don't talk to myself like that." But I have enough awareness that usually, like, these little glimmers of imposter syndrome and expansion are happening, like, simultaneously. So, it's so crazy, Megan, thank you, 'cause I'm like, I recognize that these things are happening, and then it's like I reverse get the validation and, like, the astrology.
Yeah, I feel like we've been like it's been a buildup for the last couple weeks. We're walking through that threshold today for sure though. Yeah. And also just like with Casey and Rocky sharing, who knows? Like I also have been feeling kind of like something is telling me I might not be in this space. So just putting it out there to Casey and Rocky, if who knows, maybe we're all supposed to be doing something together, potentially, you know? I think that's
Compound, a spiritual compound where it's like Rocky's building, then Megan's building.
Y'all know I'm here for this. Like, we can have like a big, massive like plot of land with a fucking old church and like all this other really cool stuff and buildings and offices and live off the earth and have wildflowers everywhere. Okay, this is what I'm saying.
yes, yes, and then we won't have so much like we just share the overhead, so it's like that's what's killing me personally in my business is the overhead, so if we can all share that, shoot, that'd
Yeah,
be amazing.
I'm here for it.
Alright, cool, we'll keep just putting it out there and see what happens, but I'll share a little bit of what I got. So something that kinda just dropped in for me last week, and it was the first thing that came to me of the next obvious chapter is doing a podcast. I've done a podcast before. I got 2 episodes in at the very beginning of being a Reiki practitioner, and I it was about my grief journey, and I was just like, "No, this isn't for me." It was too much editing, it wasn't the right time, all of that. But now my good friend, she already has a established podcast called Divine Gossip, and so we're going to do a little like series where I co-host with her. We've done some episodes together. We feed off each other really well. It's really entertaining. People just recently told me they listened to an old episode and really liked it, and that's what kind of was like, "Huh, okay, maybe that would be something good to do next." So, yeah, that's what feels like is next for me. And then my like aha kind of like, okay, I didn't expect that to come up thing was if I stopped trying to get more followers, I would offer more impact by having some kind of like online offering, like an online course or a class or meditation or just something that gives people an experience of me without me having to be there in the present moment kind of thing, more passive.
I love that. And I love that that came up with that prompt of, "Hey, if I wasn't trying to get more followers, here's what I would do to better serve the people that I already have." So, do you feel like that can be something that's next, or does anything feel like it's in the way of doing that?
No, it's just a matter of doing it and deciding like what what do I want to offer. I've thought about it a little bit before, but yeah, it hasn't been like a huge thing coming in of like what I specifically would want to offer.
Yeah. And it doesn't this could be a lead magnet. This doesn't have to be something paid. I mean, it could be, but it could be just getting in the habit of offering meditations, as a downloadable or like a freebie so that again, so that people can get the experience of you. It's like, let's not even call it a lead magnet. Like that's kind of an outdated name, but it's like it's an opportunity for people to experience you in your, best form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you could work your way up to like, okay, people are definitely downloading these. So what do we want to do next? That's, a remote or digital offer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I love it. I love some of the common themes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Anything else that you're trying to call in that you want to share or that you want people to know?
Brand deals. I'm thinking about reaching out to Aura Cacao today, just with this alignment, thinking that this would be, and for me in my chart, it's my money access that this is on. So yeah, just thinking today would be a good day to plant a seed for that. Same with anybody else. Since it's a Jupiter Cazimi, it's a good day to plant a seed for something you're wanting to grow.
Beautiful. I love it. Awesome. Okay, who wants to go next? Nancy looks ready. I'll call in Nancy. So cute with your glasses.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so the big thing for me was, oh gosh, which question was it? Like next obvious thing for me to do would be same as Megan, brand deals and sponsorships. And it's really interesting because I, of course, love astrology, human design. I love it all. And I knew that this day was coming. 729 is one of my angel numbers. And so I'm just attracted to it to begin with. I see it all the time. And today's being one of the luckiest days of the year, I was like, kind of prepared for it ahead of time. And then this morning, I got super excited because it was just like, it's validating everything that I want. David Guyam on one of his Instagram posts this morning, he talks about Gemini, which is my astrological sign. And it says, your voice becomes your greatest asset. And I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Psy Games where I'm going to be interviewing people and like in the mix of like leading experts in parapsychology and psi phenomenon. So it says here that this is an excellent period to launch a podcast or a YouTube series. I started a YouTube channel like a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to be uploading to that as I, do these interviews, give keynote speeches, which is also something that's on the horizon for me. Write a book or newsletter, create viral social media content, and that also got me thinking because I'm pretty good and consistent with getting in my stories, but posting reels, no. And it's just like, I have no more excuses. I just need to film some fucking B-roll and like just do the damn thing. But it's like, it's always the last thing on my list and it's hurting me. And I know that. So this really is the time for me to step into everything that I have been doing over the past 7 years and fucking own it and claim that I am fucking really fucking smart. And that's not me being egotistical. I'm just well studied. I'm well read. I am articulate. I can hold a conversation with anyone, ask any teacher, whoever tried to teach me. So this is me owning it and stepping into it with no more excuses. So here I am.
Yeah, I love that. And one of Angie's favorite things to do is her stories that kind of seem to perform well with like lots of views or lots of interactions is she turns those into a reel. So you do so many talking head stories. Like I feel like it would be really easy for you to just like hit that little download button and turn some of them into a reel.
Okay, so I didn't even know that that existed. So thank you for that. Another piece of my, I guess, trepidation, for lack of a better word, with reels is it just seems to take me fucking forever. I'm like, this took me an hour to put like one reel together. Like, it's frustrating for me. So I need to like put that aside and just come up with a better system than.
Yeah, and just find a way that works for you. I know it's like for me, it's like I just pick random video, intentional quote. Will not say random quote, intentional quote over it, 7 seconds with audio, call it a day. So
Yeah.
it's much more rare for me to do something that has multiple video clips because those take a long time. But if it's one 7-second clip of just your feet walking or a flower blowing in the wind and you're saying something of wisdom, which you have so much of, that won't take you long to just figure. It's like you're only having to figure out the video, the text, the music, which are all right there, and like just don't even try to tackle the rest. You know what I mean? Like do that on a day where you're like, I have an hour and I'm feeling really creative.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Anything else you want to share or call in?
There is something, but I'm scared to say it here.
Ooh. Okay. Just quick intuitive answer.
So I should say it. So there's somebody that I want to ask to do a book club with me. And it's like my dream person to do a book club with. And I'm sure anybody that knows me knows exactly who it is, but I'm not going to say it.
So you mean like the whole book club or just one meeting?
Just one. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what's preventing you from making the ask?
Oh, nothing. I'm going to do it in person over the weekend.
Okay, it's just begging. Okay. Okay, well, report back and let us know how it goes, and then we'll say it out loud. Yeah. Love it. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll jump in.
Yay.
Yay. It's funny, I feel like everything I wrote was just all about sharing more. Thank you for what you said earlier about my meditations. I think a few light bulb moments that I had. Well, I'm going to share that I have set up my newsletter on Flowdesk. So I feel really good about that to get that out there. This is something I wanted to do for a long time. I love writing. I love like poetry and quotes. And so I'm going to streamline it into a beautiful weekly Friday newsletter. So it's one way I'll get my voice out there. And then a light bulb moment that I had was right now, the only audience that I have for my meditations, it's such a tiny, like I love the question, how can people get the experience of me? Because I get really good feedback whenever I lead meditations. And the only place I'm doing that right now is at my job. And I feel like I'm hindering myself. Like I need to put myself out there to a wider, bigger audience and not just in my day job. So the light bulb moment that I had, and I think you said this too, Nancy, like you recently started a YouTube channel. Like, why not maybe stream a weekly meditation on YouTube? I've never thought of that before. And that may be really fun for me to just reach more people and have more people get the experience of me. So I'm excited about that. And then another thought that I had was maybe on my coaching website to share a recorded meditation as like a download or something for someone to take away. I never thought of doing that either. Nancy, I wrote down what you said, your voice becomes your greatest asset. I am a Gemini too, as you know, is my sun sign. So I really do feel like my biggest takeaway from this call, Liz, is I have a voice. I love my voice. People need to experience me and what I offer. So I just need to lean into that more. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think my newsletter and a YouTube channel could be a great way for me to do so.
Yeah, yeah. I'm, like, getting emotional talking about this, so I know it's truth. You have something that is very rare with your meditation voice, where your frequency of, like, your kindness and your warmth and your there's something that comes through that I feel like is very rare. It's not to downplay. I know that we have so many people that do meditations, and it's not to downplay any of that, but there's something that's like you can feel your pure intention for everyone's highest good. And I don't know if you have like had practice or training, because what it reminds me of is what Tracy Goodwin, my voice coach, taught me and so many others, of it's this way of speaking where you truly are not in your own head and you're truly present with the people that are listening. It's a micro frequency of a difference, but it's very profound to experience. And you're so good at that. Like, and I've only been through one meditation with you, but I feel it in my body, right? That you do that. So I think just the more that you can give people that experience, and it's not just meditation. It's like when you speak and when you share, but that's just an opportunity, right, for you to give people that. Because it's like, don't withhold something that's so magical and special. Because a lot of people do have to have, formal training to be able to master that, you know?
Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. I mean, it honestly feels like coming home. Like I used to teach vinyasa and Kundalini. My heart is in teaching Kundalini yoga. And I feel like anytime I have led a Kundalini practice for people, it's like as you were speaking, I was just envisioning like literally me plugging into something where something
Yes.
comes through. And it is a subtle frequency that you can tap into the frequency of the rune and just intuitively know what needs to be said, right?
Yes.
It is a magical experience for everyone involved. Yeah. So thank you for saying that, because I feel like I have let my health journey that I have learned so much from, that it has impacted my physical capabilities and I have some physical limitations that have caused me to step back from teaching. And I think at this point, I still have a voice, right? And I do still do have my physical body that I can that I can offer to some extent a Kundalini practice that I know Liz we talked about. Like when I get down to Virginia Beach, like maybe I can offer teaching again. And Rocky and everyone on this call that I said we're going to get a compound together. Let's find that church and let's get me back to offering some Kundalini teachings and leading meditations again.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about YouTube Live. I haven't played with it, but I've heard that it's a really good platform to live stream on. So if you're thinking
Okay.
of doing these live, because then you can always repurpose as well. I think that could be a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
good. So good. I mean, you guys all have your own, magical and unique things that I pick up on. So, but yeah, it's just sometimes it just come like, oh God, here comes this year. Is there something? There's some truth here that I need to say out loud.
Love when that happens, Liz. Thank you.
Ah, amazing. Okay, who wants to go next? Tara, are you ready?
I can go next. I feel a little out of pocket because, I have a product. But everything that you guys are talking about, I feel like I need to do within. And today being such a special day with the planets, it's also Papa Mayo's birthday. And yesterday was my dad's birthday. And so we always honor them by doing a big dinner. And so I found out some really fun facts about my dad since my mom's moved in that she's never been open to share. And so hearing all of you talk about the compound and all these little points that you're talking about and the connections, they've been firing off for me also. So the one word, and I think the most impactful thing that came through was with that sentence, that prompt. And
The
I
one
have
what
a
I
feeling,
should be doing blank.
Mhm. I have a feeling I should be doing everything less scared
Mm,
because I do have a lot of fun things to say and I do have a cool concept. I'm just really insecure about it. And so that's what I need to do is be less scared.
yeah. And to me, it's really interesting the word choice there too. It wasn't like be more brave or let go of fear or whatever. There's so many different ways to say that sentence. So I think it's really interesting that you said just do it less scared. Probably because there's a piece of you that can hold on to that as truth and possible of like, we talk about what happens if we improve by 1% every day. It's like, what if you can just minimize the fear by 1% every day? You know?
Well, it's also because I don't know just letting go of who I had to become to get to where I am. And I know this has been the common conversation with me since the beginning that I started with you. And it's been hard getting through all of it. And it's funny because you said one word, and of course I had to add another one because, it's me. So it was scared and intimidated. But scared is the first word. And I think being intimidated is grouped in with scared. And so my delusional idea is making at home management possible for braces because I love straightening people's teeth. And when I was in the office working in my little chair, in my little space, that's where I felt so much authority and so much confidence. And I loved taking the pressure off of a parent and putting it back on the child appropriately, obviously, saying like, your parents are paying the bill, your parents are getting you to your appointments, but it's your responsibility as a young adult to brush your teeth and to take care of this investment. And so watching a parent feel supported rather than walking in and feeling like they can't manage their child's braces on top of everything else, just seeing them be defeated. And so reframing it and helping them understand like, it's not your fault. It's not the kid's fault. It's just this is a new experience and being confident in that.
Yeah.
So, Monterey, California, October 2nd. That's when
Yeah.
I'm going
I
to
wonder if that
blow the
will
lid off.
unlock anything of like you did this big scary thing on stage. Maybe that will unlock
just even doing this call
Yeah.
on the 29th with everything else is kind of making me feel better. I sold a kit yesterday, actually. I sold a kit and she wanted to pay by check. And come to find out, she was a communications major and she actually has her doctorate. And so her name's Petra and she's from Germany, but raised in Canada. She's a really fun woman. So she looked at me and she goes, "Well, how are you going to introduce yourself on stage?" I was like, "I don't know." And she goes, "What time are you doing this?" And I said, "It's 2 o'clock." She goes, "Okay, you're going to have old, tired, and full people because they just ate lunch. So you got to go out there and be real bubbly, your whole personality." And so she made me practice a couple times and gave me some tips. And she could tell how nervous I was. And she goes, "Well, you got to practice more because if you're this nervous in front of one person, like you got to get over this." She's like,
Yeah.
"Where is that personality?" Kind of like I was telling you, Liz, like the camera turns on and I'm like, "Barbara Walters. Hi, my name is Tara."
Mhm.
So I think I just need to be less scared to be unapologetically me and roll with it.
Yeah. And just continue to ask yourself, like, what am I worried will happen? Right? Because when we're sitting in the fear, there's a meaning that we're attaching to it or a scenario that we're attaching to it that hasn't actually happened. Like if you think about stage fright and how much your body reacts to the nervousness when nothing has actually happened yet, So it's like just continue to ask yourself, what am I worried will happen? And just play out all those scenarios and allow yourself to reframe them. Like, okay, if I
You
trip
know,
on
it's
stage, people will know that I'm human.
well,
Yeah.
so that it's not those things that intimidate me. It's not knowing the energy of the room, the vibe of the room. No, it's not. It's when I don't know my boundary because I can swing so far in either direction. And there's something there with my childhood, right? My
Yeah.
parents were like hardcore Harley Davidson bikers, and then my grandfather, we were like had crystal and classical music playing for dinner, right? And it was like the tennis club. And I love both. And I can, go from like real ritzy and, we've got three forks and
What's
one
that
of those.
saying where they say, like, don't adapt to the energy in the room, like, be the energy in the room or bring the energy to the room? So they would not put you on stage if there wasn't something about your personality, your frequency that they didn't want up there. So I would just like, this is your permission to, yes, influence the energy of the room instead, like, don't worry about what it will be. Just assume they're all going to be old, fat, and asleep and, you are bringing the energy to the room, and you're so good
Well,
at that. You're so natural at that.
yes, I just have to be less intimidated. So I saw the comment where Rocky popped up and yes, be the energy in the room. But I think my entire life I've always been told to like, Tara, don't like dim it down.
Yeah.
Tara, because of
Well,
the
you're on
rooms.
stage. We don't dim it down.
Right. No.
Dim
Right.
it down at grandma's house. Don't dim it down on
Right.
stage.
Right. And so, yeah, I think when I looked at the people that I'm going up against, whew, there's some real fuds, real
Oh,
fuddy dubs, and they're real stiff. They're talking about underbites and 3D printed aligners, and they're very doctor. One's a surgeon and then one's a resident orthodontist. Um, and so I'm just digging deep to find the confidence to come in with my blue collar popped and say, everyone has a blind spot and this is yours. And so as an assistant, this is what I see it as. And it could save you money, not cost you any money, and you don't have to hire anyone new.
yeah.
So, so
I
that's
love
what
it.
I just have to show up and be real.
Yes. Which you
So,
are very good at when you're not in your head.
yeah.
So, okay, I wanna make sure that we have time for Helen. I don't know. I wanna be sure you don't have a hard stop, Helen. I'm good on time, but are you still around, Helen? Are you ready to share? There you
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi. So when you said the where do people experience my magic, it's usually one on one. So that's not an offer that I have.
Mm.
Well, I don't have anything published yet, actually. So there's that too. but maybe that one-on-one time might be important for me.
I always tell people the best way to get started is how can you help someone solve a problem in 1 hour and spend an hour with them and solve their problem and just
Mhm.
charge them for an hour of your time. You don't have to really have the perfect offer crafted or anything. It's like just someone has a problem or a gap, you can help with that, an hour of your time.
What should I be focusing on? I have a feeling I should be focusing on long form content. I think I'm really struggling with short form content, and in the app challenge yesterday, she had a branding expert. I don't know if any of you saw that. Caleb Ralston, who, just so you know, has tons of free content on YouTube. And he actually said that people with lots of expertise tend to do better with long form content than short form content.
Mm.
So I'm like thinking about that because I don't know, I'm having some blocks on Instagram right now.
So
Uh,
what is the block or what result are you what's the desired outcome that you're not getting?
I can't get anyone to get on my wait list. I can't get an email. I can't get a follower. I mean, I've got some followers, a few, and the engagement I get is encouragement, which is wonderful, but it's not like about the topic necessarily. And it's mostly from people these are people who are supporting me, which is beautiful, but like I'm not cutting through, I'm not finding my clients,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot to ask out of a platform like Instagram, right? Like I find social media is a great like nurture system. It's not necessarily like my conversion system. Like it's not,
Mm.
very rarely is someone finding me on Instagram and setting up a call with me or clicking over my profile and buying something. Does that happen with some of these people? Yes, of course it does. But it's like that is a lot to ask out of that platform, especially when you haven't already built it and established it. And it's like people work for a really long time to build machines like that where Instagram is converting and then it converts and then it stops working because the algorithm changes. And I'm not
Mhm.
pulling this out of my butt. Like I've been on Instagram and in this industry for 13 years and I've seen it all. And I have peers that have made six figures in a month go from doing the exact same thing to like literally the next month it doesn't work. So I think let's not ask anything out of Instagram as far as, like, a result and just serve. Like, it is like a vessel to be of service, period, at the end of the sentence, and when we are of service, like, good things will come. And I'm not trying to take it to, like, this non-tangible woo-woo place, but it's like, how many places and spaces can we be of service where people can get the experience of us? Because that's what leads people into interest, like, into their buying mode, into the, "I wanna experience that for myself," mode. So, you're feeling the disappointment because there's a desired outcome that you're wanting that you're not getting. So, it's like, how can we shift the way that you're using Instagram so that it fits into a sustainable algorithm-proof machine? Because you're doing amazing over there. Like, we've all seen your content, you're doing awesome, right? And I think anybody that tries to sell Instagram as a selling machine is full of it.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, how like, that's where my client is.
How do you know that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. If part of you did know where your client is or who they are, does anything else come up? Like, are they doom scrolling on Instagram? Is that really what your people are doing?
I don't know, I mean, like, they're creators, so, I assume that they are on the platform that they're creating on.
I would argue most people that are successful, like the course creators that you want to work with, are doing more creating than they are consuming.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know how to find them yet.
That's a fun problem to solve. Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn, sure.
I don't
I
yeah, LinkedIn is not they're not my people.
I think your goal, Helen, I can't remember if we've talked about this or not, but it's like I really feel like just having 100 conversations, as many conversations as we can get you to have, kind of like we talked about on Boxer, of with course creators and educators in the industry. Like if you were to have 100 conversations in the next, 3 to 6 months.
I can't even find 5 people.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you'd come out of that on the other side without valuable information, you know. And if you're saying you can't find 5, then that will continue to be true. So it's like we have to get into this, how can I? Because I don't think there's enough data to say people want this or they don't want this. Like I know it's so easy for your brain to be like maybe people just don't want this, or there's a lot of coaches out there will be like, well, if nobody can find you, maybe it's not a good offer. But it's like we don't even have enough data to come to any of those conclusions yet. I really think having conversations with course creators and like figuring out what keeps them up at night, that's where your golden egg of wisdom is like what is keeping them up at night and where do they want to go and how can you help them get there? What is the result that these course creators want that they're not getting? And how can you be the person that builds that bridge for them? Just keep talking about that. Keep asking. I mean, we don't have to show up for content like we know anything. You can literally show up for content and ask questions. Hey, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm building. I'm already an expert on this, but what I'm not an expert on is what you guys are doing and where you're hanging out and what problems I can help you solve. Right? That vulnerability, that like beginner newness, people love that shit. Like they want to be part of your founding journey. I mean, look at Sarah. She's on all these calls. What would I do without her? Right? Like she literally signed up for this very program before it even existed because I got on my podcast and I said, "Here's what I'm dreaming up. Here's what I want to do." So I think if you can like almost reverse yourself a little bit and have these conversations of like, I have fucking no idea how to find the right people, but here's the problem that I'm trying to solve, or here's how I'm trying to help people, like just make the ask.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about doing that. I guess I just, like, haven't figured out I know it sounds stupid, but, like, how?
If you were just to talk to your friends, like I always think about Facebook and Sarah, I'll call on you in a second. I always think about Facebook like my early days, like literally 13 years ago, where it's like, my mom just gave me a camera and I'm practicing with it. And I can't believe this. I watched YouTube for 2 hours and I learned how to get a blurry background for the first time. Look at this photograph that I got. Right. And somehow, me sharing my journey in that step by step way, people were lined up ready to pay me when I was ready to accept money because I shared every little thing. And they were like, we don't care if she's good at this or not. Look at how much she fucking loves what she's doing. Right? Like, please put me in front of her camera because I've never seen someone more passionate about taking pictures. I don't care if the pictures are good or not, you know? And I feel like in a way you've skipped over that step because you are so intelligent and you are so smart and you're already so good at the work you do. But we have to reverse engineer the gap that you're filling in this industry. And that may require a little bit of giving yourself permission to be new, because you can be the expert at what you're doing all day, but there's a whole other part of the business that we have to master.
I mean, I'm fully aware I don't know what I'm doing, like,
None of us do. None of us
um,
do. Welcome to the club.
I
It's like when it comes to social media and finding people and getting in front of our customers, it's all one big fat experiment because what works for me may not work for Nancy or for Megan or for Sarah. And that's why I can't stand the coaches that think they can just sell you a fucking blueprint and it's going to work for you. right? But
It's the same thing in the course creation thing. They sell you some bullshit framework, and it's if you don't know how to apply it,
yeah, if you don't know how to apply it with your unique vibrational signature and how you show up best in the world, I mean, we all have to know and understand our highest gifts and purpose and frequencies to really, take off. Because I can't be Amy Porterfield. I can't be, whoever because I am who I am and I have to figure out like how the fuck does Liz show up to give more people the experience of her. So it's like how can you show up to give more people the experience of what you're trying to do, Not even just your expertise, but like the mission that you're on. Like you've got to have the people that are supporting you right now are so important because they're going to cheer you on and they're going to connect you with the right people, but sometimes we just have to have permission to not know what we're doing and ask. Because that's not putting your actual expertise at jeopardy. That's just saying, I have this expertise that can help people and change the world. Somebody please help me get this expertise in front of the right people. It's okay not to know, you know? But the Instagram game is one that we will all be playing forever, for years, as long as we are on that platform. And it's going to be a painful journey if we think one month is going to look just like the next month. So why not have fun and experiment and just let what happens happens. Is there some strategy that's repeatable? Probably. I mean, it's like if we look at what Jesse did with the Yap challenge, I'm sure there's wisdom in that can be duplicated to an extent, but when you think about the people who show up in that way, there's this Jen Hamilton, God love her. It's like there's this ability to show up authentically all the time. And as confident and certain of myself that I am, I have no desire to show up at that level of authenticity on camera all the time. I was thinking about that this morning, because I'm doing more repurposing now than I am like just talking head. And I'm like, it's because I don't want to stop what I'm doing and record myself in the middle of my day with the way my days are structured right now. I would much rather just repurpose something that I'm already recording, my long form content. I'm in a rabbit hole, but just give yourself permission to be new. What's coming up? Frustration.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't think I'm not giving myself permission to be new. Like, I dove in to groups and to try and learn, and
Okay. So let's just go back to the Instagram statement then. The Instagram's not working or short form content's not working. How can we reframe that to give yourself permission for it to not work? Yeah, that's okay. Understandable. I guess, as your coach, what I would hate to see is for you to pivot or give up on short form content, thinking long form content's going to solve a problem. Because it really, in theory, to build a marketing ecosystem needs to be an and. We have a long form content machine and a short form content machine, okay? But I would hate to see you set aside the work that you've done because you're attaching a meaning that it's not working. When really, tough love and truth here for all of you that I was already talking to Angie about this morning because I was doing some boxer coaching. We have to show up for our business as if it's going to take a really long time. And I don't ever want to plant the seed that it's going to take a long time for you guys because it can happen in an instant. People have insane results really fast. And I always want to paint a picture that that's possible. But the reason that's possible is because these people are showing up perfectly okay with if this takes a really long time. 13 years I have been doing this. I have been creating my own revenue out of thin air since I left my day job. 13 years. And it's like the entire time, I mean, I had to learn this in the beginning. I was like, why am I not getting results faster? Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? But like, in order to have the result that we want, we have to be able to show up for it to not even fucking work, or just with this inner knowing that it's going to take a really long fucking time, and be okay with that. Knowing that it could happen faster, and find a way to fall in love with the journey. Because if you don't love the journey, you'll never get to the results. Right? Can we force our way? Are there millionaires that have forced their way into it? Sure, but they're not happy. It's not sustainable, and it's not their life's purpose. So if we can find a way so that our life's purpose is interwoven into the work that we are doing, it will never feel like work. And suddenly to show up for short form content, long form content, emails, whatever, suddenly feels like purpose and not like work. And I wish I could wave my magic wand and have you guys like just love the work that you're doing so much that if it takes a decade, it takes a fucking decade. Yeah, so it's the pressure, yeah. Sarah, do you wanna share more about that?
Yeah, so I think when I came into your world, I thought I wanted to do personal brand photography. And so, like, to me, that meant something different than what it means now. And I feel like a lot of things have also changed since then, just with the way that content has evolved and whatever. And I think Jessie Jean is just the perfect example of like, you can just put yourself out there and people want to hear what you have to say. And we are all living in our feelings and we think that everybody already knows what we know, so why should we say it? And so, like, I just want to give permission to people. Like, the first time I posted a face to camera video, my friend Johnny commented and she's like, oh my gosh, I love this. I get to hear your voice and see your face. And so now, anytime before I hit record, like, I just think that in my head. And so I don't feel as like cringe or whatever. And so I don't know, like, that's the question that stuck out the most to me was just the like, how can people experience more of me? Like, I'm just living in my camera role. Like, I have spent my entire energy and career showcasing what everybody else is doing. And you've called me out on this for years and not like telling the world what I can do. But I had to be this person that was healed and on the other side of cancer and everything that we walked through to be able to see that I can help and that I matter too and that I am smart. Somebody else said that and I felt that. And so my friend has this church. They got it for $1,000. It was just like a fluke thing. There's a lot of like it needs a lot of work. But last week I was at the Dollar General. You live in a small town when you have one of those. And the girl working was like, I'm working 3 jobs, but I'm really loving like working with AI, but I just don't know how to. And I was like, hang on, I'm going to go home. I'm going to get you some books. And I was like, and then we're going to get together when you have a day off and we're just going to talk about like what could be next for you because everything she's doing is alone and in isolation. And, I just can't imagine working 3 jobs to get by, and just not even having any idea that more is possible, like getting in your room. Like, I just think that my brain thought a lot like you. And I was like, yes, like that's what I want to do. And so I just want to show people that are living in these rural communities or that are just, feel like they are like in the shadow of everybody else. Like, I just want to bring them to the light. And so I just, I think way too much. And so then I have like 75,000 ideas. And then I don't ask for help because I'm like, Sarah, you're a like broken record. Like it's always the same thing. So I I do think that my new offer will be, some group. And I really want to do a local in-person content day. And a couple years ago, my chamber asked me to do something on personal brand. And I know I told you I was like so excited because they, I'm like, oh, they see me. And then when the email came out, I wasn't in the email. And I was like, what? And she's like, oh, we forgot to tell you, like we double booked or like whatever they did. And so then it was like, then you just feel deflated. Like, and then it's like, does anybody even see what I'm doing? But then it comes back to that same question of like, how am I showing me to the world? Like, basically. So I just need to do what I tell everybody else to do for myself and quit trying to help other people be seen and just be comfortable being seen.
Yeah, sometimes the best way we can help people is by modeling. Exactly what you just said is like, if you wanna help more people be seen, show them. Don't just tell
Yeah.
them, show them. I mean,
I have so many pages of notes.
yeah, show them. I mean, that's one of the reasons I share so openly about things that I'm working on or things that I'm doing, is because I'm just like, I want you guys to see me in the trenches of an experiment. I have been going live on TikTok for I don't know how a long time now. I mean, probably 60 times total I've gone live over the course of when was Will's podcast episode out? I don't know. But a lot. A lot of hours, okay, have gone into this with zero measurable results as far as like people on my email list or sales. And like I'm sharing all of that on my podcast with you guys on the social platforms because I want you to see the failure and the persistence and the things I'm not making it mean and how I'm showing up for that and how I'm problem solving in real time. Because exactly what Sarah said, like, how can I expect you guys to treat your business like an experiment and detach from the results if I'm not doing that? Right. So it's like important to me that I share those things with the world because I'm like, yes, watch me flop. Watch me flop because wait, a year from now, there will be a success story about my TikTok journey. I don't know what it will be. It might just be one person or one connection that unlocked something or changed something, but there will be, right? And I know that. And I show up as if that result is inevitable. And I'm okay with however long it takes. But do you know how easy it would be for me to be like, "Oh, I've put on all these hours and I've gone live and nothing's working and I'm just gonna it's TikTok's not worth my time." Do you know how easy that would be for me to just buy into that belief? But you know what? Yesterday, I shared this in the group. Yesterday, I got a screenshot from somebody who listened to that podcast episode with me and Will. Let me find it. And it's a screenshot of all the sales that she got on her live. I didn't share it because it's got a bunch of emails on it, but literally $1,000 she made. So that is proof that the experiment as itself works, right? It is not broken. TikTok is not broken. Instagram is not broken. Long form content's not broken. Short form content's not broken. None of it's broken. But how are you going to show up for the experiment? Right? I've got evidence from real people, not freaking Maria Went and all these Huna Majidis, selling you stuff. A real person, my peer, listened to the podcast 5 times. She listened to it, put it into action, had $1,000 day on TikTok. And she started way after me, right? But there's no stories of I'm broken or this won't work for me. It's like, okay, keep at the experiment, try different titles, try different niches, keep at the experiment, right? And it's important to me. It's like almost like fueling me to keep going so that you guys can see the tenacity and how I show up for the experiment and the commitment. And that's just like one little piece of my business. We have to commit to our entire business with that energy of like, I just know it's inevitable that something's going to come of this. So I'm going to keep showing up for it. And that's what the shit that people believe, right? It's like, Helen, if you scrap all the work you've done on Instagram, it's like you're scrapping all the trust that you've built. I know you didn't come on the call saying you're going to scrap it. I'm being dramatic for the sake of like, a learning lesson. But that is how we build trust by showing up when nobody's fucking listening. That builds so much trust. Like, damn, Liz just keeps showing up when nobody likes and comments on her posts, but she just keeps doing what she's doing, right? That builds so much trust. Because if you can show up when nobody's posting, Nobody's commenting, nobody's liking. Imagine how good it's going to feel to show up when people do. Yeah. I got a lot to say today. I got a whole nother tangent I could go down about people with big audiences. But I've already put it on the podcast. I'll be out next week. Okay. Got carried away. How are we feeling? Everyone feel good? Like they got some wisdom? Aside from my Liz getting in her rant mode. Megan was leaning in. I was like, she's here for it. Nancy was leaning in.
I've been here. I've been listening. So good.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. You guys got to tell me sometimes if you're like, okay, Liz, too much. Rafiki, slow it down, Rafiki. All right. I love you guys. This was so good. Really fun to kind of show up in this way. I feel like you guys brought a little bit of a fresh energy. It brought a fresh energy to the coaching call. So I appreciate you guys just being open and vulnerable and available to it. And I love you all so much. Thank you for being here and for just making my experiment possible. All right. Bye, guys. Yay! Thank you so much for being here and pushing play today. It really means the world to have you here, and this podcast wouldn't exist without you. If you're curious about your next step in business, don't forget to take our next step action quiz at elizabethhenson.co/next, and it will tell you exactly what is your next move. If you love this podcast, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. It truly means the world to us and keeps us going. If you have a question or maybe a barrier in your business, we would love to invite you to submit your question, and we are even starting a new series where we will be coaching live on the air. So if you want to hear more about that or have your question answered or just maybe feel brave and vulnerable to share about your business here on the podcast and get some support live on air, go to elizabethhenson.co/ask, and we really hope to hear from you. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week.